All right, welcome everybody. We're so excited to be here. Oh my goodness, me and Dr. T, we have been partnering up a lot lately, so super
Yes.
fun.
Awesome. Love it.
Yes, I know. We're like the dynamic duo over here, so we're excited to have you on board and listening in tonight. Definitely feel free to chat in, let us know where you're coming in from, say hello. If you're excited about retailing. So, all right, I think the chat is on. I just want to make sure it's on because I know we have kind of a weird thing. Oh, yep, it is. There's Dr. T with our first message. Okay, great. Good stuff. Well, let me get started without further ado. We got New Jersey in the house, and New York, and North Carolina, and Ohio, and Parsonsburg. That sounds very charming.
Maryland. Yeah. Canada is in the house.
Yeah. Hey, Dion from Canada. BC. I love BC. BC's beautiful. That's why they call it beautiful, British Columbia. Brandywine. This sounds like it wasn't that the last name of a hobbit from Lord of the Rings.
I think you're correct.
Just have all the something Brandywine, wasn't it?
Yeah, sounds familiar. I love that movie. Well, I love the books more, but yeah.
Yeah, you guys, awesome that you're here. Again, we got Brooklyn and Massachusetts, and we got Calgary. I grew up just 3 hours from Calgary, so welcome, fellow Albertans. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I've got 8:01 on the clock, and we can get started. All right. So we are talking about retailing this evening, and retailing is really the foundation, right, Tamara, of our business. And most of you know who Dr. Tamara is, but just in case you don't, you haven't been introduced to her yet. She has a lot of credentials, as you can see, and she's one of our experts in our products and is the director of sales and continuing education for health and nutrition, which is what we're, many people in Market America are very excited about retailing. So with a physical therapy background, clinical nutritionist, we're really super lucky to have her. And of course, a very successful unfranchised owner. So super excited about that. Not so many creds on this slide. I'm an unfranchised owner, you guys. I've been so since 2000, I want to say 2006, 2007. So really love our products, and I love sharing them with other people. So we're going to talk about some tips and how-tos here tonight. And I want to ask you guys on the line here, how many of you would like to get paid, if you're not already getting paid weekly in the business, how many of you would like to get paid weekly? Raise your webinar hand. Yes, right into the chat area. All right, we got some hands here. We got some people who are awake and live, right? Weekly, we like getting paid weekly. Absolutely. So there is a key to getting paid weekly in this business, and that is BV. If you create weekly BV through your business, through retail efforts, you will create a weekly income, both in retail profit. Immediately you'll create weekly income, but also you're going to have a, pretty much giving yourself that 100 percentile chance that you are working towards that weekly income in the commission structure. Okay. So it all starts with that first goal of creating that 10 to 15 customers. So you've got a customer order coming through your business every single week. And if you have 1 to 3 customer orders coming in through your business every single week, you're going to have some retail profit in your pocket. I love to use that to discount my own personal use. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that credit on account. I love getting my skincare for free. I'm going to buy the health and nutrition no matter what, right? But all those creams and all the
cosmetics.
That's right. That's what I'm spending my retail profit on. I love it. So you guys, you can get paid weekly right away. So retail is really that foundation to the commission structure, but also creating that weekly income. So let's talk about how that works. what we really, our first goal as unfranchised owners, if we're new, or we're, getting started, we want to do base 10, 7 strong. What that means is that you are a business owner and that you have 6 partners in your business besides you. And that everyone, including you, has a base of 10 customers. And when this happens, you're going to earn pretty consistently in the commission structure, but also really consistently, everybody is earning in retail profit weekly. So base 10, 7 strong. So 7 strong is the partners, including you, and base 10 is your customers. And that's what we're really looking to create so that everybody is earning money. And when we repeat this, when we duplicate this base 10, 7 strong within our partners, we really can create a awesome supplemental income, and quite quickly, when this is really the goal we're looking for. So take a look at some numbers. And the power of action with base 10, 7 strong. So if you were just like doing minimum activity and everybody's just on 50 BV and 10 IBV per month per UFO, you're, with that base 10, 7 strong, you're maybe making $600 a month. If you bump that up to even like half of the shopping annuity, you're up to 6,000. If you go up to the shopping annuity numbers, and that's what everybody is duplicating, take a look at your income now. $8,400 a month. This is really significant. And this doesn't mean that you're buying all these products. It means you have a customer base that's buying these products, and you are duplicating that within your organization. So action within that retailing space, because we're paid on BV, not on people, is so foundational for our success here in the business. So there's really 4 systems of retailing within, Market America. There's always a little shoots and creative things we can do, but truly, right, Tamara, we're talking about 4 basic, foundational systems that we need to master. And so if you're brand new, it's always a good idea to kind of just master 1 or 2 at a time, right? And we're going to talk about which ones that might be as we go. But one of the things that's going to happen naturally is you're going to get in conversation with people, right? In person at a party. I mean, we're coming into party season, aren't we, Dr. T?
Oh my God. Yes. With the holidays coming up. Absolutely. I have things just about every weekend and even on some weeknights now. And I'm really excited to be back out there in person with people and having these conversations again. So it's a great time of year.
Yes, it is. It's a great time of year to be getting in conversation. So when we are talking with people, the first thing we want to do is really listen. People are going to complain about the things that are ailing them, whether that be their finances or their boss, or in our case, we love health and nutrition and weight loss. And so that's, what we're listening for as well. So once we've listened, then it's appropriate to share a story or a testimonial, and then it might be appropriate to recommend a product or service. Now, a lot of times when we're brand new as an unfranchised owner, or we're just like super excited, we can tend to say too much, right? We can tend to just fire hose some information and end up scaring some people away. It's happened to me. Anybody on the line happen to you? I know it's happened to me.
I'm sure. Happened to me too, as well. And, it's
well, we get excited.
We get too excited. And then sometimes we talk too much and we have to learn to sort of just pull it back just a little bit and do a little more listening.
Well, I've gotten really good as a natural introvert, really good at saying things in the simplest way. So if you happen to have a similar complaint, right? It's that feel, felt, found, right? I had that too. And then or in some cases, I know someone is complaining about, someone who is helped by our product. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my gosh, I had that dude too, Dr. T. And then I tried this incredible nutraceutical. It was so effective. Hey, maybe it might help you. Are you open to more information?
Right. And I love that you just said that. Are you open to more information? Because I always find I like to ask permission to share the information with people, because that sort of allows them to be more open to hear what your suggestions might be. So I
For
love that.
sure. I think it's important to say I may have something to help you, because we don't know if it's going to help them. We're not doctors prescribing a drug. We're not, these types of things. We can't promise specific results. So I may have something that can help you. And this is one of my favorites, especially with people that I don't know, is I can show you where I get it online.
Mhm.
I don't even let them know it's my business or my website, because that's not pertinent information, especially when I've met someone new and I'm building that relationship. I don't need to go, hey, this is my website and you're buying it from me and there's this business behind it. And like that's just not pertinent information in the moment, right? So I love to use, hey, I might have something to help you out. Are you open to more information? Because I can show you where to get it online. And then I might bring up my website on my phone or help them bring it up on their phone. It's so easy actually to share this. And then this is where maybe the unfranchised app might come in too. Maybe you're, in a rush or something. You should always collect their information. Right? Let them know that you're going to send them some details tomorrow. Again, this is where the unfranchised app may come in, or you're just like, hey, are you on Facebook? Hey, do you have a card? Because you're the one who wants to collect that information so you can do the follow-up and make the sale later. Because it would be unrealistic to expect that you're going to sell something in a conversation, right? The whole point is that you're really just creating the opportunity for them to have a life-changing experience with our products, but creating that opportunity for follow-up. Okay. Now, I always say that listening and asking questions is probably one of the most top skills of being an unfranchised owner. But truly, when it comes to retailing, listening earns you the right to give advice. And when we give unsolicited advice, when we jump on someone, right? I've got a product for you. It's called OPC3. It's so amazing. It's magic purple powder and you got to take it, right? It's like, I have not earned the right to give you any advice. Take a deep breath, Melanie. And so this is what I have trained myself to do, is say, oh my goodness, Tamara, I'm so sorry. That sounds terrible. So the first thing is like, okay, like really, Melanie, I got to train myself how to be empathetic. So show some compassion, woman. And then, hey, how long have you dealt with this, T? Like what, gosh, like that must be so irritating. How long have you dealt with it? Third question I'm asking is, what have you all tried? Because I hate it when people say, I've tried everything, and then they're not willing to try our thing, right? So because that irritates me, these are my 3 questions so I can avoid someone telling me that. So it's like, what have you all tried? And then it's like, hey, I might have something to help you out with that. Are you open to more information? Can I show you where to get it online? So this is really the simplest way that I have learned how to create the opportunity to sell a product in conversation, right? Listen, ask great questions, and then our follow-up statement of, hey, I might have something that could help you out with that need. T, are you open to more information? I can show you where I get it online.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, because I've listened. I've spent 20 minutes listening to her lament about her knee. Right? I mean, and I do care, but it's like, you've got to spend that little bit of time so that you've earned that right. Okay. So are you open to trying something new? I may have something to help you, etc. So I hope that helps some of you guys rein in the excitement, be cool as a cucumber, do some awesome conversational retailing. With social media, because we can't really count on conversation to build our business, because we don't know when we're going to get in conversation. We don't have a system for that. We don't have a measurable, monitorable system for conversation. So social media is a pretty important aspect to our business. I always say, get on one platform and master it. Okay. You don't need to be on 7 things, right? You don't need to be on Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and trying to do everything all at once. I think that's kind of overwhelming personally. So So I'm all about one platform, get really good at it, build really good relationships, be consistent with that platform. No matter what it is, post every day personally. And this is even a struggle for me, that even like 5 to 6 days a week, that there's something going up on my personal page that's personal, that's positive. It doesn't have to be super creative, but it just needs to be out there. Why? Because I want my potential customers and my network to see my face, and they need to see your face to create that trust, to create that rapport, to create that curiosity. When you do, in fact, post, right, Dr. T? Posting about business or our products or educational content or value that would point them in the direction of your incredible products. And so choose a theme and really stick to it. But I wouldn't go any more than 1 to 3 posts on selling. Okay. And you just really want to tell stories, share your new lifestyle, right? If you're new to health and nutrition, if you're new to TLS, share what you're doing, share that that you love your rocket fuel in the morning that you take every day. You don't have to tell them it's isotonics. You don't have to tell them that you sell it. You don't have to even put it in like a brand in the picture. You could be like drinking the purple, juice and saying you love your rocket fuel. And what does that do? It creates what?
Curiosity, right? People want to know what you're drinking. They're going to start asking you questions. That's when you're going to get the messages and the comments to generate more conversation through those questions, because now they're curious and they want to know more.
Exactly. If you put on that it's isotonics and here's your website to buy it, they have no need to ask any questions. You've created no opportunity for conversation there. So I always say, share as a happy customer, because that's like the most normal thing to do, right? Is to say you loved a book, or you went and saw a great movie, or, whatever the case might be. Share because you love the product. That's why it's so important to be a product of the product. When it comes to, our products, before and after pictures are great, whether you're using Motives makeup, whether you're using our skincare. I just started a new skincare routine. Debbie, I forgot to take my before picture this morning. So I got to remember to do that, because I just started a new routine.
Not too late. It's not too late.
Not too late. And so I need to kind of take a picture later and go, okay, like, what has this done for me, right? And then I'll be able to post about it, and I'll be able to say like, hey, this is like, I'm so jazzed at the results of my new skincare routine, right? So creating curiosity. TLS offers an excellent opportunity. So makeup, health and nutrition, I mean, all of those, there can be really cool before and afters, you guys, to really get people's attention and curiosity. And I always say share, don't sell. A lot of people who are struggling with social media, it's probably because they're trying to sell the product on social media. So let's try to just share it like we're happy customers, and create curiosity so that we are generating questions. But I will tell you that this takes time and consistency. I was a social media holdout, and I started posting 1 to 3 posts a week, Dr. T, and I went 3 whole months with no likes, no comments, crickets. Nothing. Like, I grew a set of kahunas in that 3 months, because like, talk about hitting every self-worth button you ever had, that like, nobody is saying anything, nobody's commenting, nobody's, and then
and they're watching, and they're paying attention, because then one post will go up and then you'll get a large amount of response, right? And you're like, they are listening, but why aren't I getting those comments and the interest and the feedback?
It's so true. So you just have to stay consistent and not worry about comments and likes, at least for quite a while in the beginning. And I know that there's a lot of you who can relate to this. You're living it right now. So just stay consistent, because it will pay off. It did for me. The new customers started rolling in, and consistency is king in this particular system of retailing. And try not to be all over the map either, right? Like one day it's this and one day it's that. Try to have a little bit of a theme, whether it's your new healthy lifestyle with TLS or health and nutrition products, or check out Lee Rader. I mean, goodness gracious.
I was just thinking about her. All her amazing posts. I love
Yes, she's so good at the consistency, and her videos and just an incredible example of what you can do on social media with motives and skincare and all that. She's incredible. So modeling those who are doing it really, really well is always a good thing to do. And you don't have to be awesome at it. That's one thing I've learned being watching Instagram reels and YouTube videos, and I'm just like, wow, you're to be very good at this. Like, you don't need to be a professional with a great studio and like editing, special effects. Like everybody's doing this now, you guys. So get on the bandwagon for sure.
I have to say, I need to get better. I need to step up my game on social media as well. So one more thing to add to my list to just keep working on, right? We can always make improvements no matter what. I think we can always get better. One of my favorite things, in addition to conversational marketing, because I do a lot of that, need to work on the social media piece, but this is the other area that I love, and that's doing the home or Zoom product presentations. I think it's just a great way to get people together and just have some fun, and I know we had a little lull in doing this in the last couple of years in person in the homes, and many of us were doing on Zoom, but I think it's time that we all really get back in the homes, and you can pick a different topic or a different theme, and you can change it up each time you do them. One of the things that I love doing is pairing up with other unfranchised owners, whether I'm financially connected with them or I'm cross teaming with somebody who lives in my area, and doing some of these events where we can kind of all invite people together and make it more fun. So choosing a theme, if you're thinking about doing a wellness event, you could do like a wellness 101, which is our typical event that we can do. And we have some tools and resources for that. But we also could be doing something a little bit more specific. We can do a presentation on the Essential 9. Or we could do it on immune health, or we could do it on digestive health or children's health. And there are PowerPoint presentations available for you in the support materials under the resources in your unfranchised, with worksheets that actually go along with it. You could do a TLS overview. You can do something like Fit for Fall, or guys, please put something in the chat if you have been paying attention to the Shrink-A-Size program that Melanie put together for us. I was in the beta group, and then she launched it to the company. Just, oh my God, spectacular. I had great results doing personally, my husband, but also developing more customers and growing share of customers through doing the Shrink-A-Size. And then of course, Motive skincare layered events. You can pick a theme. You can even combine them. You can do wellness and weight loss, or beauty and wellness, even from the inside out. So they're fantastic ways to, create new customers, retail some more products, build share of customers, and have fun while you're doing it, right?
Oh, for sure. That's the key here, is really have a good time and have, pick a theme, make it fun, have a good time.
Yeah. So this is just a sampling. And again, these are some things that you can easily find in your back on franchise office under the resource, under the support materials. So if you wanted to, for instance, have a layered jewelry show, there's a how-to that you can do, an outline for you to follow. If it's Moda's Cosmetics, if you're going to do the TLS, there's a guide to healthy weight. As I said, we have different PowerPoint presentations that you can use. And if you are comfortable just talking about the products, that's great. If you're new and you don't have that comfort level yet, just use these PowerPoint presentations. You're just setting it up. You're pulling up the presentation. You're clicking, you're sharing the information off the screen, and you're clicking to the next screen and sharing that information. So it really provides you with the tools that you need to have a successful presentation, even if you're a new franchise owner. But of course, I always recommend trying to pair up with somebody, right, who has a little bit of experience doing them. Again, whether they're in your own financial organization or you're cross teaming and building together, which I absolutely love to do. So
yeah, I think that's the nugget here, you guys, is if you are going to be doing, especially like a live or a Zoom or a shop live, where you're doing a product presentation, I think Dr. T really hit it there. Team up. So you're not just the only one building into that retailing event, that there's 2 or 3 of you. And that way, no matter what, you're having fun, you're having a successful event, and you don't have to be financially connected. That is definitely a system to success, especially as you're bringing on new business partners, because they're not confident in talking about our products or doing a presentation. So they're going to leverage your experience or your team members or your senior partner, their experience. And so they're not selling their friends and family, somebody else's. All they're doing is inviting them to a fun event, right? And so you want to make it easy. I know there's a great quote in our business that says, don't leave the most important task to the least experienced person. And that's why home events or Zooms or shop lives with your senior partners, your more experienced partners, are so crucial, or cross-line cooperation, so that you can help people create that base 10 through third-party credibility. And all you've got to do is help them invite into it. And we're going to be talking about inviting here right away. So how do we prepare for these home events is, scheduling, obviously, lots and lots of teams do them weekly, which is awesome. And I would say that you really aren't in business if you're doing less than 2 a month. In regards to retailing activity in this manner, and have, again, those multiple UFOs working into it. You definitely want to plan to sample products at the events, because trying is buying. When people taste the isotonics, they're like, I can drink this, right? And they taste the shakes, they're like, oh yeah, I'll definitely drink. Yeah, I'll drink this. This is amazing. It tastes like dessert. So same with the makeup, same with, the skincare, for them to see it, to touch it, to feel it. So important. So plan for that.
And you can divvy up the who brings what, right? So there's not just one person who's responsible for bringing all the products or bringing the samples or put out on the tables to share, taste, touch, right, and feel. So that adds value when we divvy up the responsibility.
Absolutely. One of the things I always say is, if you've got guests, you bring your packet of the daily essential kits. You bring, and then you give it to the host, so that, that's one of the systems we always did. It's like, however many guests you brought, you bring that many daily essential packets, right? So that way everybody's pitching in. So it's really important that everybody who is working together on this event is really in agreement with how you're retailing this, meaning not half of the people are getting people online to purchase, and the other half happen to have inventory and they're selling at the event. That can create a little bit of discourse with the guests, like, well, hey, I want to walk out with the products. Why do I have to order mine online, and things like that. So make sure you're all on the same page about what system you're using. Are we getting everybody online, or are we inventorying? Which one are we doing? Are we bringing real physical products, or are we getting them online? So that's just something to be aware of. Never a bad idea to have some fun tickets for prizes or giveaways at the end. People love to stay for tickets and prizes. It's honestly one of the systems I love to use to keep them from leaving when we go to order. So
just a little tip there. One of the things that I do in lieu of the actual tickets is I use the wellness survey, and I have them fill out the wellness survey at the beginning of the event. At the bottom of the survey, it captures their personal information so that you can register them as a preferred customer if they're not already. And we use those wellness surveys to pull out of the hats or pull out of the bowl to give those door prizes out. So it's a great way to have them fill it out, get their contact information, and use it for those door prizes as well. So you're getting multiple uses out of that survey and all of the information on there that you can then use for your follow-up, which we're going to talk about shortly.
Yeah. And prizes can be things that are so simple. You know, one of the things that I always love doing at our conventions when things are on sale for, like, you know, rock bottom, those make perfect prizes for these types of events. You know, grabbing lipsticks and things like that are on sale. They can be really simple. Even like a little piece of paper that says you get a promo code, right? You get a 10% promo code off or something like that. So just get creative, have some fun with it. People love to win prizes, right? It's why we have the lottery. So number 2 most important thing is that you always want 2 events on the calendar of the same event. So it might be 2 motives trunk shows, or it might be 2 TLS overviews, you know, maintain, don't gain during the holidays. It might be, you know, Dr. D and Dr. Tamara's Essential 9 presentation. But either way, 2 events are on the calendar coming up. What you're going to grab is 20 people from your database on a names list that you want to invite into these 2 events. So you're inviting 20 people. Now, you might get 10 people to say yes, but you're only going to get 5 to show up. All right. So you might get those 10 confirmations, but you're looking with retail to really count on about a 50% show up, even if they swear they're going to make it. Okay. So knowing those numbers, you don't have to take anything personally or be discouraged or frustrated. Just work the numbers. Just work the numbers. Who are 20 people that would be a good fit for the Motives Trunk show, or 20 people would be a good fit for the Maintain Don't Gain this holiday season? Who are you looking for in these 20 people, right? A lot of UFOs make the mistake, and I've seen it over and over again. They're trying to invite the same 2 people who keep flaking on them. And they're just like, come to my event. And they don't look at all the other people that they're missing out on because they're so hyper focused on the 2 that just won't seem to attend. Now, I'm all about persistence, professionally persistent for sure, but you know, move outside the realm of just those 2 people you've been focusing on, and really take a look at your database. Who could you invite? All right. So knowing 10 or 20, 10, 5, and 5 is a lot of guests to handle, isn't it, T?
It can be, right? Because you need to answer a lot of questions that are going to arise during the event. And so that's why it's nice to have multiple people, right? More hands make less work. So
exactly. So even if you've got like 4 confirmed and you got 2 guests there, and you're doing 2 events a month, and you create a couple new customers every month, that's worth it, you guys. You don't have to do rock star activity to make this thing happen. You just have to be consistent, right? Consistent in your actions. So number 1 over here on the left is 3 touch points, meaning every single person needs to receive a phone call. If you want them there, you got to pick up the old telephone, okay? And you got to call them and like hear their voice, and they hear yours. Yep, none of this text messaging. And now you can text message. One of the things I like to do is we have beautiful invite images for TLS. So I'm going to text them that. I'm going to say, hey, I'm doing an online overview. We're getting a group together. It's going to be super fun. You know, I'm going to call you about it in a little bit, right? And I send them the image. And give them a heads up that something's coming, right? And then I'm calling, right? Or I'm sending them an email with the image as well and all the details. But either way, I'm calling, you guys. If we don't make people feel special, they have no reason to show up. If we don't make them feel important, like they are truly invited. I mean, how many of you have ever been like not invited to something, and how sucky does that feel, right? I know that's happened to me, and it's like, man, you know, I'm an adult and I feel like I'm a little kid. Like, nobody likes feeling left out. So don't worry about the phone call. People, they want the opportunity to say no to you. It's like, I'm an introvert. I don't even know if I want to say yes, but I want to be invited. So you guys, believe me, I promise you, people do want to be invited and they want to hear from you and they want to feel important and special. And the reason for 2 events is because people don't like being corralled into one specific thing. Like, it's like, this is happening on this day and you can only make it on, it's like, give them 2 choices. And here's what happens 99% of the time. You're going to have one okay event and you're going to have one really good event. And if you don't have 2 of the same on the calendar, you can switch day. They can switch day. Oh, like, oh, I couldn't make it that one. Now I'll make it this one, And so there's a lot of room for, success to happen when you've got those 2. So when you're inviting, it's important that you edify who the speaker is. So if, I know that Dr. T is doing the presentation that night and, we're all going to Monica's house, but Dr. T is like, oh, oh my goodness, I can't wait to introduce you, my friend Monica. She's the host. She's the best. And oh my goodness, Dr. T is going to be presenting. She's going to blow your mind. I mean, information, it's going to be incredible. And when you edify the host or you edify the speaker or both, you have a far more likely chance of having someone show up. Even if it's on a Zoom, you should be doing the same thing. Edify who's going to be presenting. And then we confirm attendance. And we'll talk a little bit about that here. So so inviting, let's talk about inviting. Yeah. So that's the number one most important thing, is getting butts in the seat at your events. Yeah,
absolutely. And just so you are all aware, because we have another new tool out, which is How to Invite Guide, that it was also just recently uploaded into support materials. It goes through those 3 touch points that Melanie was talking about, and the inviting and the setup and the follow-up even. So we're going to focus on the invite here, but there's a process, right, that you want to go through. There's different steps to it. And so you want to make sure that you go through the process, including setting up the 2 dates. But it's really important that when you invite somebody, that you share information with them, like, I was thinking about you, and you want to share why you were thinking about them, right? Maybe you had a conversation with them. I'm just going to use the example that they were, discussing some issues with their digestion with you. And you can say, hey, I was thinking about you. We're actually having a health and wellness event coming up. And I know you were sharing with me that you had some digestive issues. Well, I was so excited to find out that we're actually covering digestive health during this event. And I thought it would be a fantastic way for you to learn a little bit more information. So I wanted to invite you. I hope you can come. You want to make sure you get that confirmation, right? You need to ask, can you make it? Are you able to attend? Yes or no? Either way is fine. And the beauty about having the second date, as Melanie was saying, if they, for some reason, are not able to attend the first date to that first event scheduled, you could say, oh, I'm so sorry, you can't make that date. But guess what? I have the second date on the calendar. Maybe you can make that one. But you want to get the commitment from them. And I often will say, we have limited space. So I really need to know. Either way is fine, but I need to know that you're going to attend so I can mark that chair with your name on it. So I know that we're properly set up. And of course, edifying the speaker sometimes during this inviting phase is really helpful as well.
For sure.
Right.
I think it's important to mention too, it's like, oh, there's gonna be free samples, there's gonna be prizes, we're gonna have a ton of fun, or it's gonna be super educational, whatever you think that person is going to like about the event. Those are some of the features and benefits you would want to mention, right? And so make sure you're smiling and dialing. I have done
see your smile through the phone.
Yeah, I have done this for years, and I have helped a lot of new UFOs make these kinds of calls. And I just remember really clearly somebody being like, so we're having a wellness event and it's going to be a ton of fun. And, we're giving away some prizes. And I was like, kill me now. I don't want to go to your wellness event. You have got to smile and sound excited. This is a party and they want to come, right?
Yeah.
So I know that not everybody has an excitable personality, but if you do smile, it will come through the phone, okay? One of the keys to, that confirmation is exactly what Dr. T said, is like, look, I just need to plan. I need to let Monica know how many people to plan for, especially if you're not hosting. That's a nice way of kind of making it not about you or them. It's about helping out the host, right? Hey, we're only taking so many spots on the Zoom, because obviously we're being a little interactive. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna give away prizes. So we're only taking so many spots on the Zoom. I just need to know either way is fine, yes or no. And it's okay to have a no, right? Because 100% of maybes don't show up. So don't settle for a maybe, right? And it might be one of those things where, it's like, oh, Dr. T, you got, I know you got to check with Mike and the kids got busy schedules and the cat's having puppies. So I get it. How about I check with you tomorrow and you can let me know?
Absolutely.
Right. So
and I just saw Barb Bull put in the chat there. Thanks, Barb. Asking somebody to bring something like ice, once they say yes, sometimes is a nice way to assure that they're going to come, because now they are taking responsibility for bringing something to the event. So thanks.
Yeah, for sure. It might be like, oh my goodness, I forgot paper plates. Or any item that some, and
ice for the blender to make your shakes, right?
Yeah, and that's for really the person who you feel like is not going to show up, but they will if they know they need to help you. So let's talk about confirmations, because confirmations are how a lot of ways we can solidify someone showing up, but there's a lot of ways that we can actually shoot ourselves in the foot, open up a back door and let them run through it so they don't have to be at it. It all depends on how you do the confirmation. So I like to say that these first examples are more leadership language. They're very effective in making sure that whoever said yes to you, not your maybes, because you're not taking maybes anymore. You're taking yeses or nos, right? So your yeses, you're going to assume that when somebody says yes, they meant yes, right? So, hey, Dr. T, I'm so looking forward to seeing you tomorrow or today at such and such time, at such and such place, right? This is another one. Can you be a few minutes early and bring a bag of ice? I completely forgot to pick some up, right? That's always a good one. I'm so thrilled for the event tonight. We're going to start on time. Please be a few minutes early. I always like to say that because nobody ever wants to be too early. And we don't want anybody fashionably late for this. This is not one of those things that we don't, it's like, this isn't that kind of party, right? Don't show up fashionably late. Thanks again for helping me out. See you at time and location. Now, a lot of times what I see happen is like people are texting and they're going, I hope you can still make it, or let me know if something comes up. Oh my gosh. Like, what did you just do? You literally opened the door for them to tell you something came up. And it's so easy for them to cop out now. And you did that, not them. You did. So, or the question, are you still able to come? Like, I mean, this just smells like desperation. It's like, it's not the Calvin Klein cologne. It's like inspiration or whatever. You smell like desperation, right? So one of the things we want to avoid as well, because it's not duplicatable and it's a horrible thing to do, is to guilt trip your friends and family, because they're your friends and family. Like, oh, you're my best friend, you have to come. Like, what is that? No, they don't have to come. Why would they want to come? If you're going to duplicate them being successful in business, follow a system. Guilt tripping is not a system. right? Don't use it with your friends. Don't use it with your family. It's unprofessional. It's unduplicatable. It doesn't feel good. And I know that sometimes it's like this weird thing that happens when we're dealing with our warm market where like we just lose our spine and we get all like soft, right? And we don't act like the professional we need to be in this business. And so we're like, can you still come? You know, it's just like, no, don't do it. So this is where, you know, I feel like my system to success in this is like having a partner in crime who's got that spine, right? Who's got, you know, it's like, that's why call workshops work. Okay. Because you've got a group of people who are doing the same thing, who are like, okay, we're doing this together. Right. So you've got some posture. And anytime I'm doing something with friends and family, I always want someone there with me who can be the spine. So I'm not like, you know, wet noodling whatever it is. And that might be the confirmation. That might be the follow-up meeting after the meeting in the business. It might be the closing the sale at the retail. But this is where you literally can make or break your attendance at a home event, a Zoom event, a Shop Live event. Use strong language in your confirmation, you guys. Did anybody have an aha moment? Let me hear ya. Amen, right? Okay. Sorry, I'm just really passionate about that, as you can tell.
No, we can tell.
I have made all the mistakes, you guys. So I'm just letting you know that I know what's happening out there because I've done it. All right. So first most important thing, Dr. T, right, is getting butts in the seats so that you can change some lives. So inviting, confirming, 20-10-5. That is your key to success at a home presentation. Now, doesn't really matter what happens in the in-between. You disseminate some information, you have some fun. You know, really the in-between is irrelevant. The most next important thing is to close the sale. Close the sale, right? Always be closing, ABC. And so how this works is the presenter should always be prompting orders from the front of the room. So this is how that rolls. Okay. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. We're going to wrap up here shortly. In a moment, we're going to take about 15 minutes to answer questions and to take orders. So get with the person who invited you here tonight so that you can get your orders placed. It's actually going to allow you to get more tickets in the basket because we're going to draw prizes in about 15-20 minutes. So again, give yourselves a huge round of applause for being here. Thank you so much. Right? And then guess what you do as a UFO with a guest in the room? You immediately turn to your guest who you're sitting next to and you say 3 things and only 3 things. Thank you so much for attending. Let's get you started with a free customer account. This is assuming you're doing online sales, okay? So you've got your shop up, you've got your TLS Slim up, you've got your Motives Cosmetics up, you've got your isotonics.com, whichever site you're using for whatever event you're doing. Let's get you started with a free customer account. And while you're typing away, all you need to say is, which product's for you tonight? That's it. Those are your 3 closing statements, nothing more, nothing less. And when I say nothing more, I really do mean that, Dr. T, because your guest just sat through a presentation and they don't need another one from you. Right?
Even if you really want to give it.
Really want to give it.
Bite your tongue.
Want to, you know, tell them all about how much you love the product, what it's done for you, and and you basically like eaten up all the meeting after the meeting time and you haven't placed an order and now they're leaving and you're going, dang, I thought they were interested, you know. Or the other thing that happens is you just kind of like, and you don't say anything and you're like, I hope they want to buy and they tell me they want to buy. Like nothing happens, right? Because you've got to lead them in that sale. So again, I can tell you that this has created an 80% closing rate in my business. These 3 things. This is what I've trained my team to say in the follow-up conversation. This is it. Turn to your guests, smile. Thank you for attending. let's get you started with a free customer account. Which product's for you tonight? And now which is really hard to do, and you listen. And there's going to be an awkward pause. And it's about that long. And then what's going to happen is your guest is going to ask some questions. Okay. They're going to ask, and you guys, if you've done this, what are the questions? It's going to be like, so my mom has this rash. Do you think it'll help her too? And so, or it's, I get paid on Friday. I definitely want to order, but can I order later? Or it's, I want all of them. Can I get all of them? Right? I want all the products you talked about, right? You always got somebody like that. That's always super fun. And then, or you have somebody who's like, so do they use pesticides? Can I see the ingredient list? Can you send me exactly how they grow those grapes? Right. So like that person, you don't want to spend a lot of time with at the actual event. You're going to be like, I'm sending you all the information. Let me come back to you. And you want to go close with your other guests. Okay. Because you've got yourself what we call a tire kicker. This person won't buy that evening, no matter what you say, no matter how much information you give them, that is not their buying process. But there is undoubtedly in the 5 or 3 guests you have, somebody who is going to purchase that night, and you need to get to them. Okay. So always identify the tire kicker right off the bat, and just be like, I am so going to take such good care of you, and I'm going to get you all the information. Let me go help my other guests here, and I'll be right back with you. So that you can make those sales. And if they're not willing to check out, you always put it in their cart. They can place the order later. Just rule number 1, put it in their cart. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then you got to follow up, right? So important to follow a closing system. And this can happen on Zoom. This can happen on Shop Live. This can happen on home events, but that the presenter is prompting it. They have to prompt it first from the front of the room. Then you close with your clients individually. And if they're not buying, you put it in their cart anyway. So there's a little review for you for a little sales success at your next events.
Yeah. And then of course, after the event, we need to follow up, right? The funds in the follow-up, the fortunes in the follow-up, and everything really after that first appointment with them or the first event that they've come to attend really is the follow-up, right? And the importance here is that they know that you care, right? So you're answering the questions at that moment, that evening before the evening's done, but you know they're going to have more questions even after, and maybe they want to go home and look into some additional products or services that you had spoken about. So you want to show that you care. You want to show them that they're important to you, right? You're professional, you're sharing more information, and you're leading by example so that your business partners that are new know how to do the follow-up. And people do always have questions after the fact. Even if they order that night, they're going to often have additional questions. And so you following up, you generating that relationship with them really shows them that you care and that you're generating that loyalty, right? And so that they can have that access to you whenever they need you. That open access for them is important. That's you being a good customer manager. I always like to ask people, what is the best way for me to follow up with you, right? It could be through text message. It could be through email. Everybody's a little different. So I like to ask them, what's the best way for me to follow up with you? How do you prefer that I do that? And so it could be a text or an email or picking up the phone and calling. Some people like to talk to people live. If there's questions that they need answered, and you're not sure if you're a new franchise owner, you could even schedule a 3-way call with somebody who can help answer those questions. And then of course, if there's information that they're looking for, additional information about products or things that were discussed, you can send them videos, you can send them product flyers, right? And you always want to make your next appointment, your next step, and make sure you have something to invite them back to. That's really important. So whether it's another home event or another Zoom event, or maybe it's a home business presentation, or maybe it's even an unfranchised business presentation, because now they're getting some experience with the products and the company. And, maybe it's come up in conversation that there's a business behind these amazing products and they might have an interest there. And so knowing what's coming up and keeping things in a calendar is really helpful so that you know what you can invite them to next, right? But you have to follow up. That's where the fun is. That's where you're going to grow your business. You're going to have the consistency of the reorders, and you're going to be able to build your share of customer.
Oh, for sure. 100% of our business after the first contact is follow-up. That's how important it is, right? For sure. One of the greatest ways to follow up, right, Dr. T, is through the app.
Yeah. I hope everybody joining us has downloaded this app. If you have not, please go and download the Unfranchised Marketing app. It's included with your unfranchised subscription. Everybody has access to it, and it is a great tool for follow-up. There's a lot of different components to this app, and you can use it for multiple things, but it is absolutely fantastic for follow-up. Somebody might have purchased a product at your home event, and because they purchased that product, now you might want to share a free sample with them, right? To continue to build that share of customer. Maybe it's in the theme that they were discussing. Maybe they purchased a bottle of Ultimate Aloe Juice and you're going to share a sample of the digestive enzymes. So using this app for continuing with that follow-up is fantastic. It's like having a secretary 24/7, right, Melanie? It's just a great way to help keep track. And when you give things out, you can actually put it back in the app. And so you can receive those notifications back from the customers. You could send things out through the app, and you can keep track in the app as well, because there's that activity tracking system within the app. And so there are a number of tutorials available to help familiarize yourself with the app, with the features in the app. But my recommendation, download it. You're not going to break it by playing on it. So you want to just pull the screen down to reset it every time you open it, and just see what you have in there. Go down at the bottom of the toolbar, because you have all the options to share out different information about the products and even the business tools. So it's a great follow-up tool. And I mentioned the trial size samples. I just want to make sure that you're all aware that you actually have the ability to send those samples out through the marketing app. You have the ability to send those samples out. If somebody's ordering from you and you're shipping it from your unfranchised back office to them, you can actually add a sample into their order. And, I'm the type of person, I might not necessarily give discounts and things like that. I like to do add-ons. So adding on a free sample for somebody who purchased something already as a thank you gift is a really nice way to say thank you. And they usually really appreciate it. And then, of course, we also have the trial size samples in 10 packs that you can order. And I love that, because especially when we're being back in person, right? I have them with me all the time. They're in my bag, they're in my car. And, when things come up in conversation, I have the ability to just share them out. They're very professional. And it's a great way to build your retail base. It's a great way to build your share of customer by adding on these samples. So use the 10 packs, send them out through the app. And you can ask people, because you may not know what interests them the most, right? You have tools and flyers that you can use. Now, the one with the white background actually they both live in your unfranchised back office under support materials, but the one with the white background, you can actually edit the bottom of the page with your contact information, your website, and you can hand it to people, print it and hand it. You can email it. The colorful one actually also lives in your unfranchised marketing app. So you can send it out right through the app and ask them which one interests you the most. Are you more interested in getting some support with your sleep? Is it stress? Is it digestion? Or maybe you want to just beautify the face with our needle-free serum trial sample, right? So it's a great way to, again, follow up to build that share of customer. And then, when we're talking about these things, when we're talking about the unfranchised marketing app, when we're talking about trial size marketing, these are things that you can use in any and all environments, right? Anything you're doing, whether it's a home event, whether you're meeting somebody out just by random in the coffee shop online, right? You can use these tools as your follow-up to attract new clients, to retail more product, to build that share of customer, right? Using the app and using the trial size marketing, again, in any appointment that you have, or even when you're meeting people by random, it's a great way, just in conversation. And all you need to do is really just take out your phone, open up the app, right? And share the information directly through there. So it's a great system to attract new clients. And again, follow up and build your retail base.
For sure. And then we have this incredible app within an app called Pulse. And that it's an app within the unfranchised marketing app that basically is helping you care for your existing customers. So just a quick story. I received a notification that one of my customers had not placed an order in 120 days. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm placing some orders for some other customers. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I'm placing some orders right now for some customers. I'm happy to place an order for you. I know you wanted to do a detox coming up. Would you like me to order you the kit? And she responded right back and she said, yes, please order me a kit. And my response back was, hey, I love using the digestive enzymes and the probiotics with it. I sent them pictures of both products and I said, this is what digestive enzyme helps me with, and this is what probiotics helps me with during the detox. Did you want to add these this time? And she said, yeah, let's do it. And all because Pulse sent me a little notification that one of my customers had not placed an order in 120 days. And so I got the detox kit, but then I'm like, I can't stop there because I always am closing. And so I'm like, and I truly do believe in adding digestive enzymes and probiotics to the detox because it does make it more comfortable experience all around, honestly, for everybody. I like this system. It's keeping me on top of my own business. Again, if you guys have not opened this app, if you have not uploaded your customer information from your unfranchise into Pulse, again, tutorials to show you how to do this, you're missing out. Yeah, it's just, you got to use the tools, right, Dr. T?
Oh my God, absolutely. And what tools do we have, right? It's just absolutely amazing that, we have all of this right at our fingertips just to make it so easy. And that app really is like having a secretary 24/7, which is super helpful for those of us that, just are busy and tend to let things kind of fall through the cracks. It kind of keeps us in the know, right? Another thing that's really important is to make sure, as we said earlier, you should have 2 events in the calendar, right? What's on the calendar is actually what happens. If it's not scheduled, guys, it's not going to happen. So you need to make sure that you open that calendar. If you're planning with some of your business partners or you're cross-teaming with some other unfranchised owners, open the calendar together and put those dates down. So that's your call to action. Right? That's your call to action. I want you to open those calendars, make sure you schedule 2 events within the month. And again, it could be wellness, it could be TLS, it could be Motives Cosmetics and skincare and layered. Whatever those events are, you need to get them in your calendar. You need to book those dates for those retail events. And then you need to start making those phone calls and doing your invites, right? So that's your call to action. I want to make sure that everybody gets their calendar open and starts scheduling those events so that they actually happen, right?
Yep, exactly. When it's on the calendar, it happens. So you guys, amazing night with you guys, but we want to end with some celebration because obviously, it's the year of 53.
Yes.
Honoring Dennis Franks by staying focused and staying the course. And we have, leaders who are stepping up in Australia. Hong Ling Tang, you have been up on that leaderboard a lot. So congratulations. You tend to end up on multiple different, categories as well. I know everybody who's building in Australia. Thank you guys for showing up and being on the leaderboard. Then we have my home country, Canada. And so way to go, Raquel. She actually brought on, she'll be on the leaderboard next week because she was on the leaderboard for BV sales, for showing the business plan. Raquel's out of Toronto and she's just on fire right now. She's brought on a couple new partners and one of them's already half activated. So she's on fire. It's awesome. You guys, super excited for the growth in Canada. And of course, we've got Hong Kong. Congratulations to all of those leaders who are showing up and, making waves and making things happen in their business. And then we've got Malaysia, who is on fire. This market, Dr. T, this market is on fire. It's so exciting.
It is so exciting. Yes. And you just
did all these names.
I know it's amazing, right? I love looking at the leaderboard and just seeing, people's growth and success, right? I know it's super exciting when you make the leaderboard yourself. I've been on a couple times and I'm like, oh, there I am. It's like very exciting to see. And I hope you guys are all proud of your success in Malaysia as well as in Singapore. The growth here, the ability to keep track of that success. I think I know for myself, having that accountability, I found that to be very helpful for me to be in that accountability group and to have the visual of the leaderboard each week. Don't you agree, Melanie?
Yeah, definitely. And of course, Taiwan.
Off the charts. They can't even fit on one page.
Yeah, actually several of them were multiple pages, but we're just showing you guys the top leaders here. And look at this, 15 plans. Look at this, 1,280 new BV. My goodness, they are rocking it out. And we are growing in the UK. So, and then of course we can't forget about the United States of America. So way to go, everyone who is making that consistent action. Again, this is
applause for you all.
Yes, big round of applause. Consistent action, moving your business forward. I see Debbie, I see Melissa. Oh my goodness, you guys. There's Beth and Philip Black. They're often on the leaderboard. Way to go, Blacks. They're doing awesome. So Jessica Starwell, also often seeing her name, Emily Panito, Carmen, or Alex Cummings, so just way to go, everyone. We're just excited for you and for the growth that we've got going on. We hope you had some fun with us tonight. We hope you picked up some nuggets, some how-tos, some how-not-tos, and that you implement immediately by putting some dates on the calendar and doing your 2010-5. And we'll see you guys real soon.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.